This meeting is being recorded.
Hi Chitra, how are you?
Hi, Rakesh. I'm good.
Okay.
How are
So
you?
first of all, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you. So first of all, extremely sorry that yesterday we could not connect. I had some other plans, but today it's
No,
so
no issue.
right. Okay. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I have started my career as a testing engineer at Infosys at the year 2011, and I have worked there for 3 years. I had to quit my job, and after that I got married also,
Mm-hmm.
and after that I have taken care of my husband's business for 7 years, and so due to some quarantine issues, I had to again restart my career. So with referral of my cousin, I got a offer in a company, and now I'm working as a automation engineer in that. So I have completed now 1 year of my journey in this company.
Right, right. That's wonderful. Okay. So what do you do over there? Do you do manual or you are doing?
Yeah, actually, I joined as a manual tester, but now I have upscaled myself and have have there was a need from client, like we should learn Catalan Studio, and they had a framework built inside that Catalan Studio. So I have learned that Catalan Studio tool also, and then I have started working in that.
Okay. Apart from Catalan Studio, do you use Selenium or any other automation tool?
Actually, I learned by using Selenium only in Eclipse IDE, but client's requirement was we had to work in Catalan Studio because they had built their framework inside the Catalan Studio.
Mhm.
So we had to learn it.
Okay, okay. So can you tell us something about the framework that you are working on?
Okay, so it's like a hybrid framework. Like they'll be using TestNG for test scripts, and we'll be having a page object model. So they here we use property files for a page object model, and from there we are getting our web elements for the test scripts, and we are using data driven testing. So there is a setup inside the Catalan Studio, like we'll be there we will be loading our Excel sheets directly to the data files, and from there we'll be binding our data to the test scripts. So it will take the data from there itself, like that. And we'll be having screenshots for each and every failed test cases. And and yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
And what about the reporting mechanism? Which reports? How do you?
Reportings and all, yeah, reportings and all will be having a test suits. Each and every test suit run completion will be generating reports like HTML report, Excel report, like that. So from there we could see each and it will be like detailed report, like each and every line in exactly which line it got failed, and under that we'll be having a screenshot also on that failed step.
Mhm. Okay, great. So can you tell me how you have implemented the Java OOPS concepts like overriding, overloading, inheritance,
So
polymorphism? Mhm. Hello, hello, Chitra. Am I audible?
from there we could easily find that where it got failed. Rakesh, your video is stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So, Chitra, can you tell me how you have implemented the Java OOPS concepts in your framework?
So we'll be having separate classes for each and every screen. So if we want to write a test case for a particular page, so we'll be having all the test methods inside that class itself. So if we want any other test objects or any methods we need from any other class or from any other page, we'll be extending our test classes into that. So we'll be using inheritance from there, and we'll be using inside the class itself, we'll be using method overloading.
Mhm. Okay. And how about polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation? How you have used them in your framework?
Like we'll be having a in the framework itself, we'll be having for interfaces and all, for the base controls, like all the we'll be having a base class, like for all the basic actions, drop downs, click, text, send text, like that. So we'll for implementing that, we'll be using some interface also.
Okay.
And the polymorphism, I think we did not use in our framework.
Right. Okay. Now consider a scenario where you are automating Amazon-based website. Okay. Now, whenever we select a particular product, the price would be generated based on that product, right? And there would be some discount that would be available on the screen, right? So how will you
Yes.
capture, how will you do, or how will you develop the automation script for such scenario? Because every time the product might change, every time the price might change according to that. So that kind of dynamic things you have to handle in this automation. So how will you achieve that?
Yeah. So we can use a common XPath, like locators, like so if we having a following sibling or preceding sibling, using those kind of XPath, we'll be having either it is getting changed or not, it will capture the same object. So we can use following sibling, like that kind of locators.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah. So what were you telling about XPath? Which type of XPath will you use?
We use both. Mostly we use relative XPath only. So
Mhm.
in case a rare case, we if we couldn't find, so we use absolute XPath.
Okay. So what are the advantages of relative XPath over absolute XPath? Why should we go for relative XPath?
Because it is faster and directly we can just hit that element. So it will be difference between both is absolute will be much longer compared to uh, relative XPath.
Mhm.
So it is easier and easier to handle, and it will be fast to find the element compared to absolute.
Mhm. Okay. And do you use any tool to find XPath or CSS selector or
We directly we will only create our own XPaths.
okay.
We won't use any tool.
So is there any restriction on using any tools or extensions of the Chrome browser?
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay. So have you
So I have in a particular case, it was like I couldn't get the web element because it was just disappearing in a 2 seconds or like that. So in that case, I used selector sub. Only once I did, I think so.
okay, you have used selectors hub.
Yeah, only once I think I did.
Okay, great, great. That's wonderful. At least once. So, what was your experience on using Selectors Hub? Did you like that tool?
I liked it, but I never use it. I like to create my own expert always. So I never go with any other tools like plugins or something.
Fine. Do you know about Test Case Studio?
No, I never heard it.
Okay, so Test Case Studio is nothing but it's a platform in which you can record the user actions based performed, on a web application, and it would be captured in a plain text English language, right? And
Okay.
it will also record the screenshot. So generally, what would happen is you have to reproduce some particular defect, and it is not happening always, right? It is not replicating every time. So what you can do at the time of testing, you can also turn on the test case studio so that all the steps would get recorded in that. And you can, whenever that bug comes, so you can share that file with the developer itself, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and this test case studio is a wonderful tool. Again, it has been created by one of our Indian person, and his name is Sanjay Kumar. Right? So
Okay. Is it like a plugin or it's a tool?
yeah, it's actually a plugin.
Which
Yeah,
okay, which the like we should integrate with our framework like that, is it?
it's actually free plugin that is available in the Chrome browser. It's kind of an
Okay, fine.
extension. Yeah,
Okay, fine.
right? So that you can use.
Okay.
Okay. Is it possible to automate payment kind of a scenario via Selenium or via Catalan Studio?
I think no.
No, right? So which are the other disadvantages or challenges or limitations of the automation tools? Which are the various scenarios that you won't be able to automate?
Like we couldn't automate captchas
Hmm.
or barcodes
Hmm.
like that. We couldn't automate. In that case, we should remove the captcha and we should ask developers to like give some give some text like that. So we could check like that. So we
Hmm.
couldn't capture web elements like that.
Okay, great. So which are the best practices that one should follow if we are using version control tool like Git or SVN?
Like every day we used to push a code. At the end of the day, it's our responsibility to push a code to the gate.
Mhm.
So and before starting our day, we had to pull the code because we should not get any uh, what is, sorry, I forgot
So we
that
should not,
name.
yeah, no issue.
Conflicts.
Conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should.
absolutely.
Yeah, we should not get any conflicts. So it is our responsibility to do. It is our responsible. Yeah.
Right, right. And how will you resolve merge conflict? Let's say you get some conflict and your team member is also getting some conflict, right? He might would have pushed something, he might would have committed the code. Now, how will you resolve the conflict?
Like so we'll be having any we have to remove any either his code or we have mine code. Like will be sometimes we used to write the code in the same line which he has written also. So sometimes we used to remove any of our code
Hmm,
from that line, and
hmm.
like that we have to resolve it.
Okay, okay. Now, let's say in Java, if I give you some particular array, now how will you convert that particular array to string in Java?
Array to string, we have to string method.
Correct, correct. So what does that toString method does?
uh, it will convert our array to string.
Mhm. Right, right. So see, arrays.toString is a method that will return the string of the input array. The return string is a string representation of the input array itself, right? It would contain the element of the array that you have passed as an input. It would be separated by comma and it would be followed by the space. Also, the element would be surrounded by the brackets. Okay.
Okay.
Now consider I give you two strings for comparison. Okay. One is your name. Your name is Chitra Devi, right? So Chitra Devi, everything has been written in the
Yes.
uppercase letters. Okay. And there is another string in which everything has been written in lowercase letters. Right. Now we need to compare these two strings, whether we have to check if those two strings are same or not. Right. So how will you do that comparison?
We have to either change it to uppercase,
Hmm.
and we have to check whether it is equal using equals method
Okay,
if
so
in if condition like that.
right, right. So you will be creating two strings. So how will you develop the logic? Can you tell me on a high level?
Like we have to compare, we have to first initiate like string equal to Chitra Devi in a lowercase and string is equal to Chitra Devi in uppercase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to put in a condition like if we'll be having a variable like if a and b, so we have to check whether it is equal or not, and we have to which we have, say for example a is lowercase, and we have to first convert it into uppercase, and then we have to check in a condition like whether it is equals or not using equals method.
Correct, correct. Okay. Now, what would be your approach if I ask you to check if the two strings are same or not, ignoring the cases? We are ignoring the uppercase or lowercase for now.
We have a equals ignore case method.
Correct, absolutely. So we have equals ignore case method because of which we can directly validate both the strings.
Yeah,
Now, how will you check if two strings are anagrams of each other?
anagram I don't know.
Okay. So consider the example over here. String is army, MY, right?
Okay.
In another string, it is written Mary, MARY, right? So these are
Okay.
actually anagram of each other, right? From the same string, if we just change the characters position, then another word is also getting created, right?
Yeah.
So first, we will convert both the strings to the lowercase, and then we will convert it to the two character array also, right? Then we will sort that arrays one by one. Okay.
Okay.
Then we will make sure that whichever after sorting what return type we are, what return arrays are we are getting, right? So accordingly, we can check whether those are same strings or not, right? That we will be using.
Okay.
Right. So basically, after arrays dot sort method, we will be having the specified array sorted into the ascending numerical order, right? And then we can use
Okay.
arrays dot equal method to check if the both the arrays are same or not. If they are equal, that means they are anagram of each other. If they are not equal, means they are not anagram of each other.
Okay.
Okay. Which are the non-primitive data types in Java?
Non-primitive means which we create, like we can have a class as a data type,
Hmm.
and we have a string.
Hmm.
String is a
String
non-primitive
is a
data type.
non-primitive type, yes. And
Yeah.
even array is
Character.
a non-primitive. No,
Yeah.
character will come in the primitive data type, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So which are the
Okay.
primitive data types apart from carry? Oh, apart from character?
Integer,
Hmm.
double,
Hmm.
long,
Right. Then
and
boolean is there. Then float
yeah,
is there. Even byte, short, those will also come in the primitive data type.
primitive data type.
Right. Why do we write public static void main?
Uh, Static method which cannot override, which
Mhm.
we couldn't override. We couldn't override.
Okay.
That's why we and whatever we write inside the main class, main method, it will execute.
Okay.
So
And why do we write public over there? What would happen if we write private over
we couldn't run the test case,
there? No.
run the method,
Why so?
because it will. Hello.
Hello. Yes, Chitra.
Hel-
What would happen if we would write the if we would write private static method like that? What would happen in that context?
Private static.
So currently we are writing public static void main. So what would happen if we would write private static void main?
I don't know.
Okay, so let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. So currently we are writing in Java public static void main string arguments. So what would happen if we would write private static void main string arguments? So Chitra, how do you keep yourself upgraded? Let's say if any new tools or technologies have come up in the market, how would you make sure that you are being aware about those things?
Like so many things, how I came to know is some new things means I used to watch new videos, uh, like any mock interviews or
Hmm,
any some I was about to search something, and if I get to know some any new things, so
hmm.
from that I will come to know, and from there I will start learning it. So which I then I'll come to know, so these things I did not know, so I will just upgrade it myself from that.
Right, right. Okay. What do you know about CI/CD integration? What do you know about DevOps integration?
So from Git, we'll be pushing our code to Git, and from there we have to integrate to the like. I know about Jenkins, so we have to integrate our code to Jenkins, and from there we could schedule our test
Hmm.
to run in pipelines.
Okay, Chitra, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Like first of all, I need to know my feedback, and other things, like how I could get any jobs like after so much of gap.
Mhm,
So I don't know how to search, like how to highlight my resume to the recruiters to
mhm.
pick my resume.
Okay. So how many years of career gap you have?
I have 7 years gap.
7 years. So after 7 years, you would be resuming your IT career journey of software testing or automation testing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what you can do in this scenario is first of all, okay. So first of all, about your feedback of the interview, so that was very positive, right? I didn't felt like
Yeah.
you have been not touching the subjects or you are not knowing about the content for now. So it was good. Overall, it was good. Just it is like you have to be more confident, be more positive. You were getting bit nervous over here, right? But in a
Okay,
real-time interview, also don't get nervous at all, right?
okay,
Yeah. So don't get nervous at all. And about this career gap. So what you can do is you you have to be open about this career gap. So in an interview, you would be asked, why did you had this career gap? So you can tell due to personal reasons, due to marriage, these all things happen. But now you are looking for a job in the software testing. Now over here, there are a couple of things that you can do in your CV. One is you can create the automation framework, maybe data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, whichever you are comfortable with, and update and upload the code. Push your code into the Git. Add that Git URL into your resume, right? Second thing is also add the LinkedIn profile
okay,
into your resume. So create one good LinkedIn profile, right? And in that,
okay,
you can also add that LinkedIn profile to your resume. So if anyone comes across your profile on LinkedIn, or if someone is looking at your CV on Naukri, so he or she is able to contact you via LinkedIn as well. Right? So LinkedIn is a
okay,
professional network. You will be able to build professional network with the professional people on LinkedIn, right? So what you have to do is over
okay,
there, you have to I would say, follow the jobs and follow the companies like TCS, Infosys, all these companies are there. So you can follow all the IT companies over there. So whichever job they are posting, so that you will come to know. So then you can directly apply from there. Right? Second thing
okay,
is you can also send the request to the people who are already working in those companies, right? Maybe any company, and you can ask
okay,
them for a referral, right? If they can refer you for some XYZ job opening in their company, right? So that would be much beneficial to you. Another thing is uh, don't don't try to only apply for big size MNC companies like TCS, Amazon, and all these things. Try to apply for all the jobs, right? Because what would happen, let's say if out of 50 or 60 jobs you will get some calls or some reward from, let's say, 10 to 15, and those would be getting converted into an interview, maybe 2 to 4, then the job. So that ratio, you have to make sure that you keep on applying for more and more jobs, right? The more and more jobs you will apply, the more are the chances that you will. Yeah.
Sometimes
Hello, Chitra, you were telling something. Hello.
hello, companies like
Yes.
without any logo. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Like uh, sometimes I see some companies without logo, and I don't know which company I should rely on like that.
Hmm. So see, you have to apply in the companies which have proper website. They have got. You can also review the companies on the Glassdoor, right? Because many startups are such. Those are the you will get many people who are just having fake kind of things, right? Don't go towards them. And how can you authenticate these things is you can search for that company on LinkedIn. You can see how many people are there, whether they are having some job openings daily or this is a new job opening that the first time they have got, right? And if second thing is, if someone is asking you for a money for a job, let's say if they are telling that you pay me 25,000, you pay me 10,000, I'll get you a job. It's a backdoor process and all those things. So don't believe in all those things. Just disconnect the call or just leave that company, because no one would be able to hire you from the backdoor process by taking some XYZ amount of money. That is all, kind of, you know, rubbish thing that people are doing. So what you can do is you can search for a proper website. And if some people are already working, so you would be able to search them on the company. So whenever you search the company profile on LinkedIn, you will be able to see the people who are actually working in that company. So you can approach them and you can ask them, what are your reviews about the company? Is it giving the proper hike, or is it laying off the people after 3 to 6 months? What is the job security over there? What is the job stability over there? Then you can review the company's culture and the environment via Glassdoor as well, right? So in the Glassdoor, many people would have put some reviews on that company. So you can so once all these things are clear and your interview is clear, then you can go forward and move to join that company, right? You can try to join now mid-size or startup level of companies. No worries in that. Work in those kind of companies for 1.5 year, and then you can shoot up for some big company, right? So that's how your career will get into the next level.
Okay, okay. So one more question. Any so what should I improve in any like that? Can you share it?
So, see, now you had an experience of on Catalan Studio, right? What you can do is you can actually download some IDE, maybe Eclipse or IntelliJ, and create the automation framework using Selenium.
Yeah, now I'm doing it.
Right.
But yeah, I actually I practiced. I started in Eclipse only.
Hmm.
Because of the requirement, I had to learn Catalan Studio. That's why. So
Hmm.
actually now I'm starting to write my own framework.
So that is good. So Selenium, you have to or try to automate various websites are there. Write some Java programs. Right? Some Java programs like the two strings are anagram of each other or not. These kind of Java programming interview questions will be definitely asked to you. Right. So be prepared for those things.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And then revisit concepts of manual testing as well. What is Jira? How can we use Jira for creating a defect? Then what about sprint? What is agile methodology? So these questions you would get in an interview. You can learn about
Oh,
agile methodology. What is user story? What are acceptance criteria?
okay.
Okay, Chitra, it was nice talking to you. Right. And all the
Okay.
best for your career.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.